Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first and new episode, Nature Wisdom, with Miriam and Melia. And there's Melia. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Miriam. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
So maybe you would like to start off with saying a little bit about our new venture, our Nature Wisdom channel or Facebook group and offerings.
So originally met you, Miriam, last year through the Co-Creating New Earth with the Animal Partners group on Facebook. And we've been working together. I think we started, maybe around June last year, and we did that 10 weeks of animal messages and animal wisdom. And then we've continued on to do some more nature-based stuff. And I've noticed that we've got a really beautiful synergy together, and just consciousness just makes it all so easy when we just step into opening and offering. It's really beautiful. And I feel this nature wisdom group that we're creating, it's like we're opening up our consciousness and our hearts to everything. So nature and even, wider to the universe. And it's just beautiful to bring it all in and to bring different people into this space and share our offerings with the world.
I completely agree. And I have to say, for me, we started off with the animal messages, and I've been doing animal messages for, some time. But when we're doing these, we started getting messages from, other souls or energies, from nature, from energies that I hadn't connected to that much before. And it was really amazing how, Mother Earth is a living energy, being, I was going to say. And so, for me, this is like a step, like, further or in the right direction that we're taking now, because, nature is everything. And because we are all one, it makes sense to not say, to only communicate to like one kind of part of the whole system. So I'm really excited about this, to find out what messages we're getting and what we can channel and what we can share to support everybody or enlighten or entertain. So
Yeah, and hopefully deepen our understanding and other people's understanding of exactly the role nature plays in our life and how it's impacting us and how we're impacting it as a society that's often not always got nature in the forefront of our minds. So I was listening to something from a beautiful native Canadian today on the television. What's his name? Bo Dick is his name. He's an amazing, he just channels and carves these amazing masks. And he was talking about, we can have a view of nature as a resource. So it's something to be exploited. It's something to make money out of. Or we can have a relationship with nature that it's part of our relations. We are related. And even from a scientific perspective, when they look at the DNA and the genome sequencing, there is a lot that shows us that we're connected. I think the amount that we have in common with an earthworm is quite crazy when you look at the genome sequencing. So it's also like inviting this different relationship to nature, that it is actually a part of us and it's a part of our family, which creates a paradigm shift within our minds of how we interact with nature. And, nature, it's the trees, it's the rocks, it's the ocean, it's the underground canyons, it's the all the animals, but it's also the unseen elements, like the elementals the beings that we might not see with our eyes, but also live on the land. And I know in each country there's actually elementals that are indigenous to every land. So even when there's things that we don't know about, it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't exist or they're not there or that they don't have needs as well. I once had a really interesting experience where friends and I went out with our caravan, and we had a bit of an afternoon lunch. And my friend, my husband and I don't really drink very much these days, but some of my friends got really, really drunk, and they kept on tripping over. They kept on constantly tripping over a period of about 20 minutes. And then I said to them, hang on a minute, let me just tune in because something's not quite right here, because it was just so obvious. And I connected with the elementals, and they were like, you were being disrespectful in our space, and we're not used to having people here being disrespectful, and we're playing with you. And so I asked everyone to connect, and they probably thought I was a bit strange, but to connect and actually ask for permission to be there and to be a bit more respectful in our behaviour. And some of my friends still continue to get tripped up a little bit. But, you know, at least we asked. So there's this kind of opening to nature that we can all develop.
And I think that at the moment there is some shifting going on, and because I can feel that people, you know, at the moment people are being asked to stay at home because of the coronavirus, and all over the world basically, and a lot of people are actually they're starting to get a feeling for nature. They want to go to nature. You know, all the stimulants of shopping, going out, eating out, you know, loud music, events and everything has been taken away, and we're left in the situation where we can start hearing what we want to do, or, you know, going, you know, following a call to nature. And I can see that a lot of people are actually going into nature more, which I think is the first step to say, connecting to nature and sort of, yeah, going there and finding out how can, you know, be together, not one or the other.
And through immersion of in the nature soup, we can be recalibrated through the sounds, through the electromagnetic fields of the trees. They can help our system remind it how it operates when it's operating in harmony with nature. We all have this indigenous wisdom deep in ourselves, regardless of our heritage. At some point we did have indigenous heritage. And so the wisdom's there, and this actually ties in with my
You know what? I was going to say the same thing. Just for the listeners or viewers, if you haven't seen us or heard, you know, watched us or haven't listened to us before, both of us, Melia and myself, we channel messages. We do not share these messages before we start doing our podcast or video. So I have no idea what you channeled, and you have no idea what I channeled, but usually it ties in. So this is why it's so funny, because I wanted to say absolutely the exact same thing. I want to say, right, this leads us to my message. But go ahead, Melia, you go first.
I just love this feeling, Miriam. Like, it's just so amazing to work with this kind of synergy and this opening to consciousness that we co-create together. And I think it's just amazing when you step into the unknown, what can happen, because that's basically what we do. We don't rehearse anything. I don't have any notes here. We're just opening to what is, and magic happens when you open to what is. It's a phenomenal thing to work with. It's just so joyous here. Anyway, so I was driving home tonight. I've just been to the horses, and the plants have been calling me this week. I've actually adopted 3 new plant friends, indoor plants, and a peppermint tree caught my attention on the way home. And when I was tuning in for the message came from tree consciousness, the collective consciousness of all the trees on earth. And it's around freedom from fear. Fear not, brave hearts, as you push forward into uncharted territory. Just as the seed contains information for the whole tree, you too contain the blueprint for the future. All you need to do is grow and trust. Growing can be painful as you push past limitations. You might lose a limb. You might shed some bark and reach for the sky and sunlight. But the big trees in the forest can't stay small trees. You know when you need to grow, and it's important to embrace the process. Even dying can be a form of growth as we decompose and become the source of growth for others in the chain of connection. Fear not expansion and let go of staying small.
You know what, that is so beautiful. And what really resonated with me was this idea that there's no pressure to grow. You just, a tree doesn't grow because it has to grow. It's just something it does. And I think that we humans sometimes we look at growing like, I must grow because I'm in a really bad situation. I've had a bad experience. I must grow out of that. And growing often can be connected to some sort of, as you were saying, pain and also worry. But maybe we don't need that. Maybe growing is what we do. Like the trees, they just do it. They don't think about whether they should grow or not grow, or whether they had a traumatic experience which they need to outgrow. Growing is part of life.
Yeah, little trees become big trees.
Yeah.
Especially when they've got fertilizer and water and good soil and no Roundup.
Yeah.
We've noticed some local peppermint trees at one of the local parks. It looks like it's got all kind of growths all around the roots and almost like a cancer. And my husband and I came to the conclusion that it was because it had been in contact with some kind of herbicide.
Yeah.
So there's this element of kind of opening to growth and allowing growth and growing into growth. Rather than fearing growth. And perhaps that's just a normal part of life.
Yeah.
And I truly believe this kind of ties in with some, thoughts I'd had recently. The whole world needs to grow, like humanity, not necessarily Gaia. Gaia's got its own thing going on, but humanity, we do need to grow. And one of the messages I received intuitively about this phase that we're going through with the coronavirus is actually we're going from teenage to adulthood. Mm. And the teenagers is the shopper, it's the partier, and we're actually being pushed into taking responsibility for our lives and actually stepping into adulthood or stepping into being a bigger tree. And for people that are, quite connected and kind of know, you might have an intuitive feeling that you might need to step up and step into leadership to help drive this recalibration of humanity. So I kind of felt that this message was for everyone that might be keeping themselves like a little tree. It's time to get out there in the sunshine and pop a bit of fertilizer on the roots, and it'll just like give yourself and myself I'm talking about myself as well. Give ourselves permission to grow and to become big trees, even if there might be parts of it that's a little bit painful and a bit challenging. There's only one way, and that's up.
and you know, I don't know, I'm really connecting with this, giving the permission to grow and not having to grow or putting pressure in there, or having, you know, it's also this, we don't have to do anything. We are growing because it's in our DNA, because we're like the trees. They're growing because it's in there, you know. And I my message is similar in a different way. I think it is similar on a different level, but let's see what you think. So I'll just go ahead. So when I connected today, I connected with a stone, and so this is what this stone said. I'm a big granite stone, smooth and dark grey. I lie somewhere in the forest in France, and I was used a long time ago to shelter the human remains once the souls had departed. I was part of a burial site. That was a lovely job. I would keep the lifeless bodies safe from wild animals and communicate with the just departed souls. I learned so much from these souls about humans and humanity. And now it is time for me to give you some of this wisdom back. Humans have brought with their energy imbalance to the energy field of Mother Earth. Now that you humans are being given the time to reconnect with your soul, your energy, and the universe, Mother Earth has time to balance her energy field. When you go out in nature next, connect to Mother Earth and feel how the energy has changed already. You will feel the deep wisdom re-emerging to the surface of our all consciousness. Take the offering and act. We are all in this life together. Connecting will save us and bring everything into balance. All problems and everything you worry about is due to the energy imbalance, which is being restored right as we speak. Help Mother Earth by balancing your own energy. Sit quietly, dance, laugh, and love, and cry. For we are all saviors of this beautiful Mother Earth.
Just imagine myself lying on that stone.
This is what I want to go and find that stone.
Such a beautiful, beautiful energy from that stone. I remember visiting Carnac, which is in France. It's near the Loire Valley in Bretagne, in Brittany. And I lay on the stones there and just absorb that energy. And it's just such a beautiful message about reconnecting and just taking that time to plug into nature, to unplug from other things and plug into nature. And the stone's so correct. It's like tonight when I looked at the clouds, it was like a Botticelli painting. It was just amazing, and all the birds have been amazing, and yeah, it's recalibrating. I heard that they do tests on the vibration levels in Earth. I saw a little graph, and because there's less trucks and less traffic, the actual vibration of Earth has lessened. And yeah, I was thinking today about the whales and the dolphins with you know, less, because sound travels so far through water. And even just having less recreational boats out there would create quite a big impact on them, I'd imagine. Last week we went down the beach and there were dolphins in the bay. There was a couple of people surfing, but these dolphins, they were just cruising. And they just had such serenity to them. It was like, you know, welcome home.
And you know what? When I channeled this message, and now you were talking about Kanak. First, I felt a little bit like, oh, I would like to go. You know, this sort of, we can't travel at the moment. What a pity. You know, I want to go and experience these stones. And then in the next moment, I felt like, but I don't have to go. The stones can come to me. So, and this is another kind of beautiful side of the situation at the moment. Maybe we don't need this traveling around in the world, because it's like sort of everything is right here. You know, if you connect with that energy, you can connect with that energy wherever you are. And of course, it's nice traveling, but you don't need it to grow or to be happy. And this is something that sort of I'm finding out, or I think a lot of people are finding out at the moment, what really makes you happy, or what really you know, prioritize what's important. What do you love about your life? You know, which parts? And I think this connecting to Mother Earth, connecting to nature, is something that there is so much wisdom in there. There's so much love, and there's so much potential for us to remember. I was going to say grow, but I think that we know this already in our DNA and in our body. You know, this downloading messages, this connecting to energies, and we have the possibility at this moment, because everything is quiet, to start listening again.
And it's almost like a mirror of a deepening of relationship to self. When we are in one place all the time, we can actually deepen our relationship and our consciousness with the environment around us. And there might be a little switch that goes on in the brain going, I'm bored, I've seen this before. But that's just a false little voice. And if you push that aside and actually focus and connect with the world around you, regardless of whether you're in a city or if you're in the country, you'll see that nature is always changing. It's always got cycles with the seasons, and the birds and the animals, they change too. Even I notice with my horses' coats, they're getting thicker because we're going into. So it's just this like level of just being curious about the world around you, and like I love traveling. I love different worlds, and I'm a little bit sad I've never made it to the Middle East or Egypt. That love the smells and the sounds and the culture, but there's something to be said for digging your roots in and actually becoming more planted and just relaxing into the space around you.
You know, I'm just picking up something right when you were saying about you're really sad about not having been to the Middle East and Egypt. I'm just picking up this idea that this is not this is not forever, but we need to appreciate this staying in one place before we can go out in the world. Because if you go out in the world and you're looking for your happiness there, you're not having what you were just saying, the groundedness. You're leaving. And when I was flying as a stewardess and I was traveling all the time, I sometimes felt like my soul was not with me, because my soul was not fast enough to travel with me.
Very true.
And this is this feeling. it was a terrible feeling, sitting in these hotel rooms and feeling like, I had been beamed there because my kind of body and my soul wasn't quick enough to catch up with me. And if we stay in our place and we develop like much thicker roots to connect us to the place we are, I think the traveling will be a different experience, and it will be in a different way. So I've been told this is not forever, so we will be able to travel again, but in a different way. It will be in a different way, and then the energy about it will be different as well. It will not be the teenage shopping traveling. It will be a lot. I think when we travel, we will appreciate it on a completely different level, because now we know that not everything is. We have taken things for granted a long time, and this is showing us, we're not immortal. Our world is not immortal in a way, and yeah, so we might
well, even the past couple of years, like I traveled a lot when I was younger, as most young Australians do. And then the responsibility associated with travel really hit home for me last year and the year before. So just the amount of, fossil fuels that's required for aeroplanes and even for car travel. And yeah, it's just taking that responsibility, going, is it necessary? And especially plane travel, like the airline fuel does create a huge, carbon burden on the earth. So,
you know what? I have an idea. I have a very good friend, and she's Egyptian, and she works with the energies in Luxor. So she goes to the pyramids and does a lot of meditation, and she does tours there, and all that. So why don't we try in our next episode to connect to Egypt, and see if we can bring Egypt and the energy to us, like we've just done with France a little bit, with the stones and the trees of Australia. So we have brought a piece of Australia and a piece of France into this podcast.
Sounds good.
So we'll see if we can do that.
I think we'll definitely be able to, because I know that I got a very strong connection to Egypt and the Middle East, like probably, past life. I do know. Yeah, I've got information. But even it's funny how, and people who are listening might resonate with this, your body kind of gives you a bit of information about where you've been on the earth. And when I eat Middle Eastern food, and even when I listen to the music, or even the sound of like the call of the mosque, something lights up in my body. And yeah, I'm a Western woman, and I'm probably not the best place to go visiting in the Middle East these days with different cultural things going on. But in my heart center, there's a very, very strong connection there. I mean, I remember when I went to Istanbul, I've been to Turkey twice, and I may have mentioned this to you before, Miriam. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on a previous podcast, but I actually navigated the streets to the one of the bazaars. I think it was the Spice Bazaar, without a map. Like my heart just knew. It was like, go this way, go this way. So I guess that's another thing with the travel thing. We do, especially people that have lived previous lifetimes on earth, there's a soul knowing, there's a soul remembering. And if we allow ourselves to connect in that way, we can remember being in places without actually having to travel there.
I think that's a beautiful kind of idea to dive into the subject a little bit more, especially right at this moment where we are not able to kind of jump on an aeroplane, you know. Sort of the challenge is, what can we do at home, you know, what can we do staying at home, and still getting a similar experience. What, you know, if we would go to the space market, you know, we would probably have a little bit more sensory experience, but the energy that you would feel, you know, entering a place or a city, maybe we can still feel this by just channeling and connecting to that place. So I think it's very interesting.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, when we learn how to connect with ourselves in ways, I don't do it for fun, but at a training course, we learnt remote viewing, so we could actually, like, all you know, we were sent an address in South Africa, and we all were asked, what did we see from the sky? We pretended that we were birds, and what could we see when we viewed from the sky? And it's amazing the information that pick up. People were saying, oh, there's like red roofs, and there was a playing field, and there was this, and there was that. And then we saw a photo of it from Google Maps.
and what happened?
Yeah, the information that people picked up was very similar.
That's amazing.
And we were imagining we were like a flock of crows or something. So
that is really amazing. I was thinking, what you know, would you like to do like a little breathing, or to finish our little first video podcast? And so if you sit comfortably in your chair and just put your feet flat on the ground. You can close your eyes if you want, and you take a deep breath in, and you can hold it for a moment, and then when you let go and exhale, you just let go of all the stress. Take another deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And when you exhale, you feel your shoulders relaxing, your neck, your back is relaxing, your arms. Take another deep breath in. Hold the breath for a moment. And exhale. Now you're relaxing the belly and your lower back. Your legs are relaxing, and your feet. And you can feel your feet really connecting to the earth. And you can feel that through your feet, the energy of the earth is coming up. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. Just feel the energy coming up through your feet into your body, and it's rising. You can feel that this energy is going in your belly, in your stomach, in your heart, in your throat, to your third eye, and into your crown. And from your crown, this energy is actually exiting into the sky. You feel the energy coming from Mother Earth, going through your whole body, into every cell, to every organ. And you can feel how the energy is being balanced in every cell in your body. You can feel the love in this energy. And you can stay in this energy for a few moments. And when you feel ready, you can slowly come back. Start moving your toes and your fingers. Maybe stretch a little bit. Open your eyes and arrive in this place again. And if you have a dog, your dog will probably tell you when it's time to come out again, out of the meditation. So, yeah, so this was lovely. Thank you, Melia, for this first podcast and video of nature wisdom.
Thank you, Miriam.
And I'm really looking forward to the next episode. And as we're not planning anything, let's see what comes up. And if you're like, visit our group or join our group, Nature Wisdom by Melia and Miriam. So thank you so much. And
thank you, nature.
See you all very soon. Bye.